Did you get to tell him that you were, marking out?
I just kind of introduced myself. Hey, man. And of course he's like, who? What?
Before we begin, let's thank our great sponsors. And if you want information on how to become one, you can go to jasonbailey.com. Much love to Inspect All Pest Services, because bugs, termites, and critters, they don't belong in your house. Inspect All handles pest control, termite protection, and wildlife removal. Here's the number one reason to use them. One company that does it right the first time. Bonus, they also take care of insulation, pressure washing, and gutter maintenance all across Atlanta. Less calls, less stress, better results. InspectAllServices.com. If life makes you Google lawyer, call the Aurora Law Firm, led by the Mad Dog, Manny Aurora. This Georgia-based team handles criminal defense, white-collar cases, DUI, expungements, and more. Nationwide. Number one reason to call the Mad Dog, they know the system and how to beat it. The Aurora Law Firm, because oops needs backup. TheAuroraLawFirm.com. Life gets heavy. Stress, work, relationships, all of it. That's where Ridgeline Counseling can help. Led by Dr. David Markwell and a team of 10 therapists, Ridgeline offers in-person sessions at 3 of his Georgia locations: East Cobb, Marietta, and McKaysville, or virtual visits wherever you're at and most comfortable with. Number one reason to choose Ridgeline, you don't have to do it alone. Ridgeline Counseling. Real help when you need it. MarkwellTherapy.com. Power goes out, not at your house, if you call Alternate Power Solutions. They're a family-owned Generac generator dealer, founded in 2012, handling sales, installation, service, and repair for home standby and portable generators across Georgia and Tennessee. Here's the number one reason to use them. You don't pay a dime until the job is done and you're 100% happy. Every customer gets an upgraded warranty, free monitoring with a service contract, flexible financing, and they actually keep generators and parts in stock, plus an A+ rating with the BBB. All you have to do is call 770-853-7571 or visit poweringgeorgia.com for a free home assessment. Use the discount code Bailey for $500 off your entire installation. Alternate Power Solutions, because losing power shouldn't mean losing your mind. Looking for the ultimate wellness boost? Meet Alive Ozone Therapy Spa, Central Florida's first and only ozone therapy spa. From ozone therapy to red light therapy, halo therapy, presso therapy, PEMF grounding mats, and even in-house ozone-infused products, Alive Ozone Therapy Spa's got everything to help you feel amazing, inside and out. Repair, rejuvenate, and restore your body. Here's the number one reason to try Alive Ozone Therapy Spa, because they combine cutting-edge therapies with natural holistic care. Go online to AliveOzoneTherapySpa.com. Use the discount code BS10 for 10% off your services and products. Alive Ozone Therapy Spa, because feeling your best shouldn't be optional. Thanks to all of our sponsors. And with that being said, let's begin the show.
I think we should do a podcast about rock and roll. And that's some stories.
Yeah, let's do it. Welcome to the Vinyl Road Podcast.
Yeah, here it is, episode 39 of the Vinyl Road Podcast. It is a show about rock and roll stories from the road, life, and everything in between. It is all on the BPX. In case you're not in the know, what is the BPX? That is the Bailey Podcast Exchange. There are 3 different shows, 5 days a week, one feed. Hopefully you're on Spotify. I know a lot of the audience here for this podcast watches on YouTube, which is cool. Just know that there's a whole nother world on the Spotify feed. You get the Honey, I Raised the Kids episode on Mondays, then the BS, which is the Bailey Show podcast, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, the Vinyl Road on Friday. If you need more details and also to subscribe to get all of the episodes, you can go to jasonbailey.com. Also on the website, you can find the merch shop. So maybe next time you go out and see Saliva, or you go to any rock and roll show or any show in particular or any show at all, you've got a Vinyl Road podcast t-shirt, hoodie, hat, underdrawer, cell phone case, bag, blanket, pillow, whatever the hell you want is in there on the merch store. Our great sponsors, if you'd like to become a sponsor, some of you businesses, if you want to be a part of this mess, I would love to have that conversation. All that is on jasonbailey.com, including signing up for the newsletter, which is very important. My kitty gets tickled when I see people open the newsletter and click on stuff. So make sure you have no idea, Brad, how excited I get when people open up that fucking newsletter. I mean, I am dead serious.
And anyway, you can see when they click actually on the parts there, the links and everything.
Dude, I can see it, like I see the names. So sometimes like when it coincides with somebody that because we've got a lot of, the vinyl roadies. I see them on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. You start to get to know them at least via social media. Right. So then the newsletter goes out and I see all the emails and you kind of can put two and two together and you're like, oh, look at that. Garrett opened it up. Oh yeah, she opened it up. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
And then when you see him click the links, like you don't know who clicks the links, but that's the good stuff when you get link clicks. And so our friend Ben, the Bald Badger, who is on the BS with me, he actually puts that newsletter together. So,
okay.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you, Benjamin. All right. Thanks for being here. My name is Jason Bailey. There's the man himself, Mr. Brad Stewart. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, Governor.
Hello.
Governor. What's up, man?
Are you safe in this part of the world? Is Jacksonville not getting bombed? Are we okay there?
No, but man, weird shit was happening before this happened, right? Like we were, just in the neighborhood, my neighborhood, hanging around, and there was these low flying helicopters. And I was like, Jacksonville's a military town. Dude. I mean, we got some assets here, to say the least.
And you also got the military stuff in the Panhandle, Pensacola.
Oh yeah. So our neighbors were like, "What the fuck are they doing?" It was almost like they were flying below where they could be detected for moving these assets around.
Ooh, that's called the deck. Top Gun. Remember?
Yeah, the hard deck. They're fucking low, dude. They're like treetop and shit. Like we were like, are we being attacked? It was crazy. And then next thing you know, this shit starts happening, and we're like, oh, okay, maybe they didn't want people to know that they're moving those assets onto ships or whatever they're doing with them. It was interesting. Yeah, because they weren't no police helicopter. It wasn't Magnum PI up there or TC. Who was do you remember Magnum PI? Who was the pilot? CJ. Oh yeah.
CJ was the pilot. Yeah,
that's right. All right. Okay. Yeah.
You didn't think I'd know that one, did you?
That's pretty good, dude. Fuck. That's pretty fucking good, dude. Wow. but wasn't who did I just mention? There was another fucking the black fella on there. What was his name?
CJ.
That was CJ?
That was CJ.
I thought it was TC. No, dude. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure that was CJ. Somebody's obvious. Man, you're asking me this question, and like in my head, I'm going, that was CJ. And there's like 100,000 people are listening right now. I wish that are going, dude, you're an idiot. That ain't CJ. Two letters. I know that.
It was two letters. What about the one where it was the Screaming Mimi? And they were two brothers. No, it wasn't on Magnum. It was another show. It was like Rick and AJ or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Screaming Mimi, dude. And it was the double. I think it had two blades on it, the helicopter, and it had like the mouth, like painted on the side of it. You know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know. The only helicopter television shows I remember, Airwolf,
of course, dude. That was Jan Michael Vincent, bro.
That was the hip snips, man.
That's fucking bad, dude. That helicopter was bad, the fucking bone, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was bad. Have you ever walked outside your backyard, into your backyard, and heard a drone overhead?
I've seen them like kind of cruising around, and my neighbor had one, and he was like, well, he has to like have this license, and he can't go fucking around, and all those things are tracked. All those flights are tracked, and all this shit. Did you know that they track that shit?
Wow, I don't think the drone that was over my backyard a couple weeks ago was tracked. That's trippy, dude. Like, you take the dogs in the backyard and you just hear this. Yeah. Look around. I'll shoot that damn thing. I went and got.
I was gonna say that's a privacy thing, dude. Take out that fucking pellet gun and
I
snipe that shit or your real shit.
I put on a 12 gauge. I was gonna go. It's 22 because you can't unload a firearm in a neighborhood.
I mean, you can, but
yeah. I mean, where I live in Volusia County, Florida. I mean, this is where the men are men and sheep are scared. My neck of the woods. So
yeah,
I think I'd get away with it and be okay. But I do have two pellet guns. I got a flamethrower. I don't know if anybody follows me on social media, but I posted a nice flamethrower video.
Saw that one with the egg. You were lighting it up. And someone goes, that thing ain't shit. And they're like, oh, just kidding. That's pretty cool. That's just obviously one of your friends,
But the old BS listener, he's like, gives me shit all the time. That thing is like $20 on Amazon. I bought it for myself for Christmas. And you just hook up a small little propane tank to it. And dude, that is badass, man.
That's a good way to light it, man. I use those little you know, the little things, lighter squares, and you have to kind of break them apart and light.
What do you think, what do you think I was lighting those with?
Oh, okay. So you put those in there, but that then you put okay. I thought okay, I got you. Duly noted.
It's more for show than anything else. A lighter, actually, a lighter does a better job.
I was gonna say,
but just
you're torching the fucking lump charcoal at that point. Don't hurt the lump, man.
Well, I mean, if you want to get into it, technically, you should put the lump charcoal into the cylinder,
and end up in it. Yeah.
But I was crunch time for some steaks that night, so I was just throwing it on there. Anyway,
are you familiar? Real quick, speaking of steaks, there's a Japanese method you can use for your steaks. Have you seen this?
Which
you
one?
Put this stuff. It's called koji, and it's like they use it to make like soy sauce and miso soup and shit. It's like a rice kind of thing, but it has enzymes in it. And so, and I actually saw this too on Cooks Illustrated or something on their Instagram. But my martial arts instructor is Japanese, and he was like, he gave some to me, and he's like, you want to put this on your steak, and you could be on there for a few days or a few hours, however you want to do it. And they would actually vacuum seal this stuff in with the steak, right? And it breaks down the meat to where it's like, it's so tender and fucking amazing, dude. I think it's shio koji, and so it comes in.
Do they cook it on the grill, or do they do that?
So then when you're ready to cook it, you take it out and you wipe the shit off there, because if it's on there, it can affect the grill marks and the kind of the searing. So you want to wipe it off after, before you put it on the grill. But and then when you're done, you put this. It's green. It's yuzuko. Yuzuko. So yuzu is like a kind of a fruit. It's got it's green, and you may have seen yuzu coconut water. They put this stuff in, and so anyhow, it's got a little spice to it too. So look for it if you have like an Asian, like a grocery store, man. We did it. So for Valentine's Day, there's a Southern Steer butcher here in Atlantic Beach, and I got some fucking like massive. I mean, they're thick fillets, right? And I did the method with the steaks. Holy shit, dude! It's game changing shit there. I'm telling you. So and you're a steak guy. You're a foodie. I know you. I mean, it's just saying,
Yeah, the enzymes that you put on there.
Yeah.
What do they do for your body? I mean, like, is there any health factor? Because there's a lot of enzymes that are good for you.
I would imagine they are. I mean, I don't think they're harmful.
Yeah, and you said you grill it, right?
Oh yeah, I grilled that. Yeah, so I'll always, of course, get it really hot as shit on the grill, and I'll do the marks. I'll turn it 90, flip it, then turn it 90. The whole thing. Yeah, man, I got it too. I don't like to finish in the oven. Some people I put it in a cast iron and then finish in the oven. I like to do it all on the grill.
Right. Yeah, 600 degrees, 90 seconds, flip each side, go back, take it off, about 4 or 5 minutes, depending on the steak. Yeah, that's it.
Let it rest. It was incredible.
Have you ever cooked? Is it called soy vey? I think is it.
Oh, I love the soy vey. Yeah, yes. They have an island teriyaki, and then they have the regular teriyaki. That's good shit, dude.
No, I'm talking about the cooking method.
Oh no, you sous vide, because soy vey is also a brand of like marinated shit. Yeah, it's like SOYVAY
in the bag. Yeah, you put it, you seal it in the bag, and then you put
that's sous vide. But yeah, it is in the bag, and so you basically cook it, and then you sear it at the end, right? You get it to temperature, and then you sear it, right? Yeah.
It's my estranged brother from my biological father. When we first met about 4 years ago, everybody following. We just started talking, and we were talking about, at that time I was a big grill guy. I'm not as big today, but I still dabble. And he was telling me about that. And the next thing I know, I've got one at my doorstep. And then I did it a couple of times. I was like, this is badass, dude. I mean, it's a little bit of a process. It's not as fun as grilling, but I'm a big, like, everybody likes my brisket. I'm a big brisket guy. I mean, it's very difficult to destroy something when you smoke it. The whole idea what I've learned when you're smoking a piece of meat like that is, one, the meat. You got to get good quality meat.
That shit ain't cheap either. What
No.
are we paying for a brisket these days? About 100, $150?
Yeah. A good
At
one.
least, right? Yeah.
And then the prep, you've got to prep it at least 24 hours in advance. You coat it with mustard and horseradish and soy sauce and all that stuff and, get it nice and good. And then you put it on there for, depending, 14-ish hours. That's the good stuff right there. People love my brisket. Love it.
Yeah, I got to try it, man.
You take the bear claws and just go in there and rip it apart.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff.
Dude. Hell yeah, man.
You want to talk, it feels like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is always topical. Like they're always nominating people. It's always a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
And just this week, they gave the 2026 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations. You saw who they are, right?
I'm looking at it right now, actually. And some of it, a lot of it makes sense. Some of it doesn't, but I'm like, okay, fuck it, Shakira, let's go.
All right, here.
I mean,
for those
is that rock and roll? I mean, whatever. I don't know. It's music.
Well, let's say for those that don't know, let's tell everybody who they are. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced its 2026 nominees, which include, to make you feel a little bit old, Gen Xers, the Black Crowes. You have Jeff Buckley, Mariah Carey, Phil Collins, Melissa Etheridge, Lauryn Hill, Billy Idol, NXS, Iron Maiden,
yes,
Joy Division, New Order, yes, New Edition, Oasis. We saw that coming. Pink, Sade, is how you say that?
Sade, yeah.
Sade, Shakira, Luther Vandross, and Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang.
10 of these are appearing for the first time. That'd be Jeff Buckley, Phil Collins, believe it or not, Melissa Etheridge, Lauryn Hill, NXS, believe it or not, New Edition, Pink, Shakira, Luther Vandross, and Wu-Tang Clan. Without totally going into the cliche argument of, it's not rock and roll, man. I mean, that lineup, with the exception of maybe a few, just personal taste, like I'm not a Lauryn Hill fan by no stretch, is a pretty good lineup of artists, especially NXS and Iron Maiden, especially.
The Black Crowes too. I think they were badass, especially when they first came out. First couple records were awesome, man. And more up to like Amorica, and then I don't know, they got kind of jammy. And then live, like, have you ever seen the Black Crowes live?
Oh, yeah. Well,
last time I saw them in St. Augustine, they didn't play. I don't think they played one fucking song off of "Shake Your Moneymaker," dude. I was pissed.
No.
Yeah. And they fucking barely played anything off of Southern Harmony either. And I was like, are they trying to piss everybody off? I'm like, those two records have made them, man. Especially fucking. And then my wife and I, we were in Aspen a few years ago. So that's actually like 10 years ago. And Chris Robinson was playing a place called the Belly Up in Aspen. And it was just Chris Robinson. And, so it wasn't his brother or anybody. And same thing. They didn't play one fucking, I don't even think they played any Black Crowes songs. They played Hard to Handle, which of course that's Otis Redding. That was a cover. Mm-hmm. And then he played a bunch of his own stuff, which wasn't bad. But I mean, I'm quite sure if you're booking it as this is Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes, people probably want to at least play one fucking song, man, But
you have to understand, there were many years that the Atlanta boys wanted nothing to do with each other and or the Black Crowes brand. I will tell you this story. I've interviewed both Rich and Chris being the lead singer, Rich's brother being the guitarist. Mm-hmm. One of the best moments that I've ever had with a guest was when Rich came into the studio with his then band. This was before the Black Crowes reunion, when no one thought that would ever happen. Mm-hmm. And at the very end, they performed and did the interview and blah, blah, blah. And at the last question of the conversation, as I was saying goodbye, I said, I've got to ask you this. He says, what's that? And he goes, well, I probably can figure what's that. But we already did the brother stuff. I said, I'm just curious, as a guy that doesn't talk to his brother anymore, me, like you, do you even have Chris's cell phone number in your phone? And he goes, nope, not at all. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So fast forward, this was just a couple years ago when I was doing radio in California. I'm talking to Chris, for the Black Crowes reunion. And Chris, both those guys were familiar with my radio show in Atlanta because they're Atlanta guys and all that stuff. So you kind of had a little bit of a play gap to ask certain questions, And I told him, I said, dude, I interviewed your brother, when you guys were estranged, separated, and he had that band, his side band and stuff. And I asked him this question, and this is what he told me. And Chris's response was, he's a fucking liar. He's had my number.
Brotherly love, man.
Like I would have to dig for the footage. Like there is no I don't even think there's footage of Rich. There's footage of Chris because it was a kind of a big deal. But like I wish I had footage of both and put them together. And that's great viral content. It was one of those funny moments where it's like his response was, he's a fucking liar. He had
That made for a great interview answer, though. Yeah, fuck him. I don't have his number anymore. Okay.
So you look at these nominations or these nominees, and you're familiar with how, like, the criteria of getting the bands in, right? Like it's
25 years?
Yeah, it's 20
minimum
Well, it's the criteria for a band to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is based off of three things. It's 25 years since their debut album.
Right.
The influence that they had on the industry, which is subjective, I guess, to a point. And then the last one is if you get through the people that vote, which is like, I think 1,200-ish or something that vote, which is very political. Right. I mean, just like any Hall of Fame ballot, I've got a buddy that was an amazing college football player, went on to the NFL and was part of the dynasty with the San Francisco 49ers. Like Joe Montana wouldn't have gotten the ball if it weren't for Randy Cross. Not in the Hall of Fame. He's in the College Hall of Fame, but there's certain people that vote that would never put him into the NFL Hall of Fame. It's very, very political.
So what qualifies you to be on the voting committee? You have to be a Hall of Fame member, or just like an industry insider, or like what is the, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to be vetted somehow to be able to weigh in on something like that, right? I mean,
that I don't know. I'm assuming they're appointed by somebody, just like, when you get an Oscar or Grammy. I mean, it's all political. We've had this conversation time and time again. It's either extremely political or it's forced because it's so popular and people will be like, what the shit, dude? How is that not happening? Right.
Did you watch the Screen Actors Guild? That actually, since I had, so I got kind of grandfathered, or I got sort of, I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild, but it's only because I was a member of AFTRA. So the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, AFTRA, merged with the Screen Actors Guild. So, however long ago that was, 15, 10, whatever. So I start getting the DVDs in the mail, and it's like nominated for, it was all the films and the actors and actresses, which, when did they stop calling actresses? Now everyone's just an actor. And now it's called the Actors Award. It's not even called the Screen Actors Guild Award. I'm like, what the fuck is that shit, dude? Anyway, have you noticed that?
Yeah, I've seen the clips on social media because they did this bit where they went around and they would have different actors and they would tell a little story and they're like, hi, my name is Kristen Bell and I'm an actor. And that was like a little funny in there. And then I saw that they all referred to themselves as an actor versus an actress or an actor.
But if you're a host and you're a female, would you be a hostess or a waitress? Like what is the difference in their thing than other things like that? Or maybe now it's just called a flight attendant. Anyway,
I'll answer your question. 5 years is your answer.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
5 years ago, people would have been triggered if you said actor. And now that we've gotten ourselves out of that horrible that trend we went through, now we can just be what It is what it is, and nobody gets pissy. And if you do, nobody cares, so that's the answer to your question. 5 years.
Okay.
5 years.
Duly noted. So anyhow, it was actually, I have to say, compared to other award shows that we've seen lately, they kept the politics completely out of it. It was actually a very
Good for them.
well put on show. Kristen Bell was actually the host. Actor. She was an actor that was hosting.
Yeah. She's a good host.
She was awesome, dude. I think she's spunky. She's hilarious, dude. I mean, I love her and everything she's been in. She's great. But no one got on the mic and started saying shit like they did at the Grammys and other shit. So anyway, I thought it was pleasant to watch it, and they just kept it about the performers and about the movies and Harrison Ford got a lifetime achievement thing. Did you see even clips of that? That was pretty, dude. His fucking speech was pretty heavy, man.
Yeah, I saw clips of the Harrison Ford. The reason I'm assuming you don't go to the politics anymore because right now it's a very tricky situation. That those in Hollywood, it's a predicament that you're in, because if you go and speak publicly on how you are against the military conflict that is going on right now, then what you're all ultimately saying is you're pro-terrorism, pro against women's rights, pro against gay rights. I mean, it's a
slippery slope there. You got to be careful there. Yeah.
This political world that that is the back and forth. It's just a game, and it's like, aha, I got you. It took all these missiles to do it, but you can't say shit, So it's a tricky, slippery slope. Even on social media, you find people that want to speak out. They can't speak out because they're like, oh man, if I do, then it means I'm like anti-women and gays, and God, man, this sucks.
Yeah, it's different. You better watch your fucking P's and Q's. I tell you. Did you happen to see the Jim Carrey thing?
Oh, with him not actually being Jim Carrey?
Well, yeah, I was like, there's no way that's fucking him. That's a disguise or an imposter. And then the guy who was a makeup artist came out and said that, and showed him actually creating himself as Jim Carrey, which I did think it was odd though, because not too long ago there was some sort of thing in the press about Jim Carrey being in bad health though. Yeah. And you know what Jim Carrey said too, but when he went away last time, he goes, if you see me back out there, it ain't me, because I ain't coming back. That's what he said. And it wasn't. It was somebody. It was fucking an imposter. Or,
It's age and Botox. Age and Botox. I'll jump on a conspiracy theory, but...
No, look, the guy has done it before. He was Glenn Close before. It's dude does this thing where he goes out and impersonates people, and he had the mask, and it showed him putting the mask on and making himself look like Jim, dude. It was pretty intense, dude. Look at it. And the guy admitted, he came out. He said, yeah, no, that was me.
Do you are you one of those people that when it comes to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, when you get an artist like, in this case, Lauryn Hill, or, a non quote unquote rock and roll person, Wu-Tang Clan, Luther Vandross is just an amazing artist. Shakira, Pink, even pop artist, and go, dude, come on, you can't go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's ridiculous. Are you one of those people?
I mean, some of them have the rock and roll spirit. I'll give them that. Now, the sound and the style doesn't have anything. I mean, maybe somewhere down the line, like the family tree of music, way down here where there was blues and jazz, and some of these artists went this way with it, and then rock formed this way. There was a connection way down on that sort of tree of music, right? Because rock came from the blues and some of those early rock and roll, especially, man. And so, and then even some metal came from some classical influences and shit like that. You can hear it. I mean, go listen to I don't know, fucking in some of those Maiden songs, there's some classic type sounding shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the you've got two different people, right? When it comes to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the nominees and the inductees, you have people that don't give a shit. I'm raising my hand. That's me. and when I say I don't give a shit, I mean, cool. I'm not in charge. It is what it is. If you put on a good show, I'll watch it, and because whatever. And then you have the people that just are haters that are like, this, I'm a gearhead. My idea of rock and roll is AC/DC. And if you don't sound like AC/DC, or you couldn't open for AC/DC or be like AC/DC, then you shouldn't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I tend to disagree with those people.
That's pretty extreme, though, that part. I mean,
Well,
I'm being
facetious, but
no, I know, but there are people that are like that. I don't think I fall definitely in that category. I do feel though that it does seem that some of these artists are already in like a different Hall of Fame situation for their particular art, or should it be separated, or should it just be called the Music Hall of Fame? Should it still be, instead of dividing it, should it still be everybody together, but don't call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Or should the rock and rollers have their own separate thing?
Right. Or
and how would you define that though?
Yeah, I mean, you can compartmentalize it like you do radio formats or just genres. But the problem that you're going to have there is, if you go back to the 80s, there was no rocks. Well, there were rock stations, but they were fairly new, right? I mean, Top 40 was playing Kiss, and Top 40 was playing glam rock bands, and so on and so forth. And then radio, with the help of the labels, they start to separate the music. They start to separate the genre. That happened like kind of in the 80s to mid 80s, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, but now it's even more compartmentalized versus then. So if you were to do that with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, what I would fear is that you would have to morph that again and continue to morph and morph and morph versus just Music Hall of Fame. I mean, if people have a problem with the term Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I would just change it to Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that would make better sense. It'd be an easier solution too. I mean, and like I said, though, some of those folks have that rock and roll spirit. It's in them,
Well, I think most of them do. If not,
if not all of them do. Yeah. Now that I'm looking, I mean, maybe not Luther Vandross as much. Maybe there's something we don't know about him, and he's actually a hard rocker. I mean, dude, even Carrie Underwood, she's into rock and metal, dude. I mean, you never know what they're into just because they're as performers, and their success has been from a different style.
So what would you define the rock and roll? How'd you say it? The rock and roll mindset. What would that be defined as?
It's definitely an attitude and like how they carry themselves. And I mean, there's some controversy in there. I mean, you think of, I don't know, maybe not Mariah Carey, but people have a certain way about them that there's a rebellious spirit. There's an attitude. There's definitely the Black Crowes fit. I mean, that with that whole thing, those guys.
But if you were to take that definition, and I agree with you just because of my age, but today there's no new rock star. I mean, the new rock star doesn't abide by those rules, because of the world we live in and the society that we live in. I mean, even Youngblood, I mean, yeah, he's got that rock and roll vibe to him, but he's kind of a goody two shoes. I mean, he admits it. He's like, I had women all over me, but I'm like, I said, no, I'm kind of a prude. He's like a good souled kind of prude dude. That's cool. And, he's a kind of a health guy and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
He's not your typical rock star is what we know as a rock star.
I've seen him hammered though.
I've seen him hammered too.
I mean, there's that part. This is my first drink at music festival. Fast forward to drink number 17 and shit. He's fucking just slammer, dude. That's fucking hilarious.
If you're gonna take that approach, I mean, I would argue that artists from other genres are more rock and roll than rock stars. And maybe that's just because they're more mainstream and we don't see it. But you look at rappers
for sure, dude. They're out there shooting each other and shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
country music stars are more. I think country is the new rock and roll lifestyle. Those guys are badass and edgy and don't give a damn.
But also they're dressing like they're in rock bands. You notice that? I mean,
Sure.
they're not really dressing like I don't know, like the old school country folks would do.
Mhm.
You know, now they're dressing in Warren Star gear and shit or something. You know, like
Out
um,
out of these bands and artists, you personally, who would you put over the most for their nomination for the 2026 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Just personally.
I mean, if Iron Maiden doesn't get in there, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, right? That would,
Sex, the number of the beast.
I mean, that shit defined. I mean, that was hard to fuck with that shit. And I mean, they came out a long time ago. So why aren't they already in there? Honestly, a couple of them, I'm like, why aren't they already in there? Would Shake Your Money Maker came out in 91. That was a long time ago, dude. 35 years. That's, you know,
Yeah, but Number of the Beast came out a long time ago. You know, I mean,
I know. Even further to my point, I mean, that's why if they don't get in there, what the fuck? That goes back to the political thing. Like, what is stopping them? You know, Skinner didn't get in though for a long time, and people every time the nominees came up, people would raise fucking hell. And here in Jacksonville, dude, they were pissed and all over. You know, it's like, dude,
Iron Maiden was one of my introductions to rock and roll when I was 8. You know, so Run to the Hills, Number of the Beast, that, you know, along with a couple other bands, but you know, I'm sitting there drawing the logo on my school books and whatnot. Maiden, you know, and you can kind of, I mean, as Maiden, obviously a heavy metal band, but very operatic. I mean, it's kind of like a harder Meatloaf. Don't get upset, Maiden fans, but you know what I mean? As far as telling the story and the long form of rock and roll with all the moving pieces and parts. It's not just Pantera style heavy metal. It's very operatic, which is a totally different type of rock and roll, you know? But I mean, Priest is kind of like that too, in a way.
Yeah.
You know, so that was just a different version of heavy metal coming from the 70s into that early 80s scene with Maiden that you could probably argue.
And Maiden had the artwork, and a lot of their records were like,
oh, with Eddie,
like,
oh yeah,
it's fucking badass, dude. I mean, they had that, like, as far as the merch, they had that shit dialed. I mean, that was whoever who was drawing that shit. I mean, it was that shit was amazing, dude.
There's a whole story behind Eddie. It was in the documentary that I watched. It was fascinating, by the way.
Was it on Netflix?
I don't remember, but it gave the whole backstory and the who, what, when, where, why, and how it became and why. You know, it was really, really fascinating. But it's one of those stories that I should know, and just as a piece of information, everybody should know if you're like rock and roll. To me, on this list, you know, INXS stands out among everybody. I mean, and I know there's a ton of Oasis fans, and you're excited, but INXS, again, an older band. I just feel INXS is one of the most underappreciated bands, and you want to talk about influential.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, it's very difficult to hold a candle to any INXS song. Yeah. Still to this day, you can't. It stands out. It's just enough. We've not seen another INXS since INXS.
No, I know. And I'm surprised more people haven't like covered their shit though too. Right. Why didn't no one covers? I mean, the songs are fucking great songs. They're classic. I mean, amazing. Great fucking songs. So, I mean, hopefully, I mean, and they've been around even longer. I mean, that's a. When did Kick come out? Early 8. It was like 83, 84.
Had to have been around there. Yeah. I mean, I could see, you know, it's funny because even before these nominations were put out, I have a lot of conversations with myself in my head. And
what does yourself have to say back?
Sometimes it's just
agree with yourself.
Sometimes it doesn't.
No, you're having arguments. Fuck you. I know. Fuck.
Devil Inside.
Oh man.
I guess good. I was what, 6th grade, I guess, give or take, when Devil in that video of him walking and it's like going through the red and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, talking to myself, I'm going, God, what a great song to redo.
Why doesn't anyone do it?
I have no idea. You know, and then there's slow song, you know, pull us apart.
Never tear us apart. Oh, dude. Dun, dun,
Dun.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah,
How do you not remake that song? I mean,
so good.
and as great as they were, and as great as his voice was, I still think most of those songs, if not all of those songs, can be redone with the right talent.
Oh yeah, I hear a female vocal on that one. Actually,
Could be.
I think it could be sick. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's certain songs. There's no doubt that just don't go there. Queen, tough. Probably don't want to go there. Celine, in tribute, yes, but you might not want to go there unless you totally rearrange, right? Whitney, you know, those types of things.
Yeah.
In excess, I would think. I mean, you tell me from the artist standpoint. You know, pretty not simple, but easily obtainable and to rearrange and sing, right?
I think that, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not like prog or like they're doing math calculations when you're trying to play through the riffs and shit. You know what I mean? It's pretty straightforward rock, man. I mean, and lyrically and just they were cool because I think they were one of those rock bands that people could actually dance to some of their stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that set them apart, I think, because it wasn't just straight rock or it wasn't metal. You know, it was danceable. It was upbeat, fun shit. Most of it, you know, like people shake their ass to it.
What was it? What was it? Prog rock or alternative rock? What was In Excess categorized under?
I'd say pop rock.
No, pop rock didn't exist then.
No,
Maybe now today, but
maybe now
then,
today.
yeah, then like I mean, you take Joy Division, New World Order. That to me is the first of alternative rock.
Oh, totally. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Thompson Twins and those, you know, those types of that to me is the alternative. So I would put NXS under there, but I think they're categorized as maybe a prog rock or something else that I've heard before.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you couldn't really call them alternative at that point. You know?
Yeah, you could in the early 80s, sure.
Think so?
Yeah. I think
In Excess?
Yeah, like I said, I'd put them in that same category as like Thompson Twins and Duran Duran and those types.
I think they just had more edge than that, man. You know what I mean? Some of those bands were just kind of not. They didn't have as much attitude, I should say. I mean, they're great bands. REM back then was great. Yeah, they were definitely alternative, especially in the early days.
Oh, are you? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, we're talking about the same thing, but two different things. So I'm talking about the alternative from the 80s.
Okay.
Now, the alternative from the 90s is a whole different world.
Yeah.
Alternative in the 90s, we categorized that as grunge, you know.
And some Jane's Addiction, shit like that too. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. Well, even STP.
Oh, yeah.
And STP is not really a grunge band. And STP, you know, like those bands that kind of started to taper out of that grunge era, you know, the Candlebox is, the Candlebox is the greatest example, in my opinion, of the transition band out of grunge.
It was post-grunge, though, they called that, remember?
Post-grunge. Creed was the tail end of
Fuel, kind of, too. Yeah, post-grunge. Now, what did you think? Would you say that Smashing Pumpkins, I mean, they're from Chicago. They had the same producer as Nirvana. They had Butch Vig on the first record. Yeah. So Gish. So you wouldn't consider them grunge, huh?
I would consider
alternative.
Yeah, alternative, but they changed their that second record was more grungy than their first record.
Yeah.
Right.
Siamese Dream.
Siamese Dream. When they put out that video, in a cage and you know, that was grungy, right? That song was grungy, but like 1975 or Disarm, I don't think grungy. You know, but
I think those are Rat in a Cage. That was the record after that. Wasn't that Melancholy? But no, Disarm was definitely Siamese Dream. Yes.
So what's the chronological order? It was
so the first the Gish record had like I Am One. I am one as you are three. And then so second record had like Siamese Dream had Today's the greatest day I've ever known. Disarm.
Not grunge.
It had actually a couple of those first songs on that record are pretty grungy.
The first record, not the second one.
Now, once it got into melancholy and infinite sadness, now you're talking about despite all my rage, I am still that was the first. That's grungy. That was the first single off that record, I do believe. But tonight. Yes. So the third, which was a double album. Right. So tonight was on that one too. The third, and then what's the one? Supper's waiting on the table. 33. Fuck, that's a great song. There's some really good songs on those two on that double record too.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love Smashing Pumpkins, and I love Billy Corgan. And Billy Corgan as a dude is amazing to talk to. That guy is brilliant.
He's sharp. Yeah, smart guy, dude. Really is.
Like I never wanted my interview with him to stop. And we talked for about an hour. That dude is awesome. And his podcast is really good.
Yeah.
If you ever watch
clips of that, I haven't dug into it, but yeah.
Oh, he's good all around. And he's a wrestling fan. Right.
So, is he really? I would never say that about
Oh my
God.
God.
Like WWE shit?
He owns NWA Wrestling. He owns the promotion.
No shit.
I've got friends that work for him. Yeah. I mean, he's the boss. He flies in and they put on the wrestling shows and all that stuff. Yeah.
Insane.
I mean, he's been a wrestling fan since he was a kid. So if the Pumpkins, first album, grunge, second album, not so much, third album, back to grunge.
I don't know if maybe. Because Siamese Dream had some grungy shit on there. It really did, actually.
Well, like Disarm's not a grungy. 1975 is not a grunge song.
But 75, you're talking 1979. That was on
1979.
That was a melancholy. That was the third record. So
I was born in 1975. That's why I keep saying it.
I'm like, isn't there a band called the 1975 too?
Yes, there is.
I was gonna say, they're kind of disco-y and shit, but or like 70s kind of.
So Phil Collins, I don't know if Genesis is in or not, but Phil Collins by himself,
he rocked pretty good, man. Phil could rock it.
Yeah, you almost think Phil's about on his way out. Sadly to say,
yeah, he's getting up there, man.
I think that might have something to do with it. That's where the politics come into play, which I've got no problem with. The only thing that upsets me is when I see artists and or actors that are given awards after they pass. I get angry and go, well, I don't get angry, but you know what I mean? Saying they should have gotten it while they were alive. And now I know you're giving it to them because they're gone and you have to.
Right.
That always drives me insane. So when I see a list like this for the 2026 nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you see somebody like Phil Collins on there and he's in bad health, you just wonder if they know something we don't know. Maybe. And if he'll make it, after they vote for the next, they got 2 months to vote, and then the selections will be, they'll be announced in April, and then they'll have the ceremony and so on and so forth. Should the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, who was it? Ann Wilson of Heart was arguing Howard Stern should be put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Do you agree with that?
I think he's got the attitude and he's got the fan base. He's got the influence. I still love fucking Private Parts, dude. That is a great movie. He's and think of the rock and roll performances and the people that were all throughout that movie, man. He's definitely.
Well, he doesn't fit the criteria of having an album that debuted 25 years ago.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
So then I guess for that reason, I am out. No, I don't know. I guess not. If you're going,
because then you
could he have an album? He had a show though. He had a show.
Yeah, but so then you get into the conversation of these bands, especially the older bands, the way that they were promoted. No social media, record business was totally different. Radio was the driving force, right? It was radio. That was the goal, is to get played on the radio. Believe it or not, young folks, that was the goal for these artists, is just to hear themselves being played on the radio. If you want to know what it looks like and feels like, go watch the movie of the Wonders. That thing you do.
Tom Hanks. Yeah.
They just wanted to get played on the radio.
Yeah.
So Howard, back in his young days, was influential on a lot of bands breaking because of his format that he created, Shock Jock, an all talk format. And he's having these artists come on and perform. And then as his audience grew, he's now introducing these people to the rest of the world. I mean, he was doing the equivalent to what Letterman did for Pearl Jam or Letterman did for Hootie and the Blowfish. Hootie and the Blowfish became an overnight international sensation, or at least a national sensation, because of David Letterman. David Letterman was driving in his car on a Tuesday, heard Hootie and the Blowfish on the radio in New York City, and then he called his booker. I want that band on the show this week. Flew them in. They performed. The next Monday, Darius Rucker gets up and sees that they've charted.
Wow.
Game changer. Yeah. Just that's how, and I was following Hootie and the Blowfish when they were a college band out of South Carolina, 5 Points, traveling around the Carolinas playing under Hoot and Fish and Blow, as different names, right? Wow. So yeah, I mean, so to induct radio personalities, I think is very interesting. You'd have to prove it. And, and there's a lot of radio DJs. There's one that just passed out in LA that was credited for helping launch a lot of bands. Old Buckethead could go in for Shinedown, so even though they wouldn't give it to me, instead they'd give it to that chick up in Boston. Anyway.
Oh man.
So,
ouch.
Well, it's not a shot. It's the truth. And nothing against her. Bless her heart. I'm just saying if anything, it's a shot against them. So I think I don't know if you put them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I definitely think that there's something to be said about the people that help these people get to where they get to. Absolutely. Outside of fucking thank you in their speech. You agree with that?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, is there, now I've been to radio conventions before in Vegas and stuff, but I mean, I guess there's not like a place for it. There's not like, I mean, okay, it's the Hall of Fame's in Cleveland and they have a gigantic building and they have hallways and they have things,
what do you
exhibits. Like where would you put like the radio broadcaster Hall of Fame? You're saying should they have their own separate hall, like their own separate famous?
Well, there is a radio broadcast. There's a radio broadcasting Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, though.
But if they don't meet the criteria that you just said, then
that's the problem. I mean, that's the problem is that they, if you're going to follow the rules, and then it gets political. Like you saw the Paul McCartney thing where he was talking about he had a verbal contract with at the time
Apple.
No, the co-founder of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Jan Winter. This was back in the 90s. And they said, hey, we're going to put you into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And this guy reneged on it. But that just, there's this whole article on this story. And what I'm getting out of it is
he was going to put Paul McCartney as a solo artist.
Yeah, yes, in the 90s. Yeah. But I'm reading the article and I'm going, how is no one reading this and going, this is the politics of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? You talked to the co-founder of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and he said, oh yeah, I'm going to put you into the Hall of Fame, and you believed him. Like that guy shouldn't even be saying that out loud because that's not his decision.
Yeah.
The decision comes from the voters.
Allegedly, it's not his decision.
Exactly. Like that story to me is should be huge. I mean, outside of what's going on in the world, I'm going, why is this story not a big deal? Does anyone not see the, quasi nepotism that's going on in this article? This guy is saying, oh yeah, I'm the founder. I co-founder. I'll put you in, man. That's cool. No, I'm going to renege on that. And
plus, I mean, we're talking about Paul McCartney. I mean,
right.
Quite sure he has a spot there. They should have his own. He should have his own area or floor or something. Maybe his own fucking,
Oasis, should they be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this early?
We'll see if they get in, man. How many of the nominees actually do they select out of the ones that's listed here? How many does it say? Oh, wait. Out of these nominees, 10 are appearing for the first time.
Yeah, it doesn't say who gets selected. That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
Because I mean, In Excess should already be in there. Honestly,
Maiden
should already be in there. Black Rose should already been there. I mean, Phil Collins
Jeff Buckley.
should. Jeff Buckley. I mean, he's been gone. I mean, but his one of the greatest voices ever. I mean, in the rock, just in music in general. I mean,
Was he the original for Hallelujah?
no, it's Leonard Cohen.
Oh, that's right, Cohen. Yeah, but he redid it. I know he redid it. So
He did. And speaking of remember I was talking about the belly up in Aspen. There's another guy that did it, and it was on the Shrek movie. Wainwright, is it Rufus Wainwright? You remember him?
Yeah.
We went and saw him like 2 nights before we saw the Chris Robinson thing at the belly up, and that was tough to watch. He was I don't know if he was fucked up or what, but he was behind the piano and shit playing, and he's barely making it through the songs, but he did that one, and that's the one song he did, and we were like, wow, he did a really good job on that.
One of the best songs ever written.
Fucking great song, man.
Great.
Now when Jeff Buckley does it,
Yeah.
man, that shit'll kick you right, right where it hurts, man.
And Shakira's kind of like the wild, like, so if you go, okay, I'm obviously assuming 25 years ago album, great, influential on like, maybe internationally, that's fine. But like, I remember when she was a big deal, she's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, great more of a dancer. I mean, she's an entertainer, but I'm saying, like, was she really known to be this force as a musician? Or I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean,
she was
known
known
show up. I mean, I'm just saying, but
she was known to belly dance because it's
it's exactly, yeah. It was. I mean, it was fun to watch. It's incredibly entertaining. It was great, but I mean,
I think you know, as you start to get into this, you know, the pop in the 90s, you know, because you're going to start to have boy bands nominated, you know.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Backstreet, NSYNC, all these bands are going to start being nominated, and wait till Taylor Swift gets nominated. People are really going to flip shit.
yeah.
And to be honest with you, like, you put Taylor Swift on any list, there's no arguing that she was influential, right? I mean, she's nowhere near rock and roll, but I mean, you could go through this list right now and say that Taylor Swift was more influential to a generation than anyone on this list. And even to be honest with you, if you were to go through this list and say which artist and or band was the most influential, I'm not a Wu-Tang Clan fan, but dude, their following is cult-like. I mean, people still to this day wear their clothing and say lines from their music. The argument could be made at that list, the Wu-Tang Clan is probably the most influential.
Yeah. Dude, Old Dirty Bastard.
Right.
He's great. Method Man, Redman, all those dudes have had great solo careers after too, man. But was it New Edition kind of boy bandy?
Oh, that was absolutely a boy band.
Cool It Now. Is that New Edition?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the beginning of that then. Because I don't think any of those other bands are eligible quite yet, or are they?
What are you talking about?
The boy bands like that you're talking about.
Oh, well, 25 years ago would be 2001. Backstreet's back. All right. Yeah. I mean, I think maybe
around
next year or no, actually, no. Backstreet was out in 2000. Absolutely. Because I moved over to Rock Radio in 2001, and the station that I worked at prior launched the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Britney.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because it was Orlando, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, XL 1067. Absolutely. Yeah. And there's no arguing that those boy bands were extremely influential. I mean, still to this day, you look at Backstreet Boys, they've had an amazing career. They're selling out the Sphere in Vegas, the same place Metallica's playing. Mm-hmm. And I should be having Howie D from the Backstreet Boys on the BS here soon. So,
Howie Feltersnatch?
Howie.
Oh, sorry. Different Howie. This is a different guy.
Howie's a great dude, man. He, you know, I used to date his niece. I was on his cell phone plan. He's just a great guy. It was funny because so a few years back when I was doing radio in Atlanta, I was invited to go to the Country Music Awards in Vegas, not the CMAs, but the other ones. And they had a radio. I wasn't working. I was just going because the company I worked for, their parent company, put it on. So, go out to Vegas, tickets to show, watch, dressed up. And I'd never been to a big award show before. This was cool. So I tell my wife, she's excited. We get all dressed up. Anyway, the day before they have Radio Row. I'm not on Radio Row. We go as guests. And we're seeing all the artists walk around and talk to the country radio people and stuff. And as we're walking, one way, the Backstreet Boys come around the corner. And in true pop fashion, they've got a lot of people with them and stuff. The country artists didn't care. Like Miranda Lambert's walking around like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
And I literally bump into Howie. I had no idea that they're going to be there. Why would they be there? I don't follow country music. I had no idea they had a song with Florida Georgia Line. So I literally bump into him. I mean, physically bump into him. Like, dude, what's up, man? He was like, hey, Buckethead, how you doing? We do the old man hug and this and that. And I said hi to the guys who probably don't know who I am. But anyway, and then I was like, hey, man, good to see you. And I just kept walking. Like, it was no big deal. Like, yeah, it's cool. I just saw, it's cool. I've never had my wife look at me like she looked at me at that moment. She was furious with me. I'd been together with her at that time, I guess like 11, 12 years. And I said, are you okay? Everything okay? She goes, you just ran into Howie D and the Backstreet Boys and you did not introduce me. I said, well, babe, they had to be somewhere. I was like, I'm sure we'll see him again or something. She goes, do you understand how big of a fan I am of the Backstreet Boys? I'm like, no, I guess I didn't. She was furious. So fast forward a couple years, they come into Atlanta to do a show, and Howie usually has these little get-togethers beforehand with select guests. So we go to that, and I said, just be cool, right? I mean, the drill. Just be cool, though. Okay, I know this is a big one for you. Just be cool. There's a picture of her touching him like this on his shirt, and she's like, I touched a Backstreet Boy to his face, and I'm like, shit, Rachel.
Oh man.
You can't mark out like that, dude. What are you doing? You can't mark out like that. But, there are probably some artists I would mark out for too.
Yeah, there are not many, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I get it though. I mean, fandom is something, I mean, and she was probably trying her hardest too, not to fangirl out, but then it was like, sometimes you just can't help yourself. You just kind of get in the moment and you get excited. And I remember I met Billy Duffy from the Cult. And he's friends with Brett Skyens, back in the Fuel days, and they had been in projects together. And dude, I grew up listening to the Cult, man. And of course, Billy Duffy being the guitar player was him and Ian Astbury, and so I see him at NAMM. I'm wearing a Cult shirt. The Cult love, right? But I had already met him before that, but I saw him again, and he came on our bus. Fuel was playing at the Canyon Club in the Agora Hills, and he came on the bus, and I said, man, I'm just gonna get this over with. Fuck, I love the Cult growing up. I was like, man, and I hate to do this to you, man, because you're on the fucking bus, and I should know better, but I was like, man, I grew up listening to, Cult Electric, fucking Sonic Temple, all that shit, And so I said, okay, I'm good now. I had to tell you. And then now I'm done. I'm done fucking fangirling out and everything. And he was like, it's okay, man. No problem. He's like, maybe I'll pop by Skyens later or something or whatever, from England and shit. But he handled it like a pro, but I was just like, I couldn't fucking help it, man. He was, I don't know. He was one of those guys that I was like, man, I always wanted to meet that dude. And he was super cool, but are
you trying to tell me with all these tours that you've done and these artists that have played on these big festivals, there's not somebody other than the guy from the Cult that you weren't standing side stage going, man, I hope he comes over and says hi to me?
Trent Reznor for sure. Yeah, that was a big deal. We did Global Gathering when Shinedown, we were babies. And so Tommy Lee's there, oddly enough, from Motley Crue. He was closing the thing as a DJ. You remember when he was being a DJ and all this? So he's standing next to me, and I start talking to him, and I'm like, that was pretty fucking cool. I mean, it's fucking Motley Crue, you know?
Sure.
And then here comes Trent. And Trent, this is when he was like, he had shaved his, he had super short hair and shit, and he's walking around. And he's pretty stocky dude and stuff. And he's next to me, and I'm like, holy fuck. Like, that was cool. You gotta imagine, dude. I grew up with that shit too. I mean, Nine Inch Nails, fuck, you kidding me? That's the shit.
Did you get to tell him that you were, marking out?
Like, I just kind of introduced myself. Hey, man, and of course he's like, who? What?
But that is a good bass guitar.
Yeah, dude. The thing it's like when I met Carmen Electra. She was like, who? Security? Sorry, I'm just kidding. Whatever. I'll be over here. Hang with Papa Roach. Yeah.
That's funny. Who do you think won't make the cut? We'll wrap this episode up, but finishing up with the 2026 nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Black Crowes, Jeff Buckley, Mariah Carey, Phil Collins, Melissa Etheridge, Lauryn Hill, Billy Idol, INXS, Iron Maiden, Joy Division, New Order, New Edition, Oasis, Pink, Sade, Shakira, Luther Vandross, and Wu-Tang Clan. Give me two that you don't think will make this cut.
Oh, man. Two that won't make it.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm going to say, and not because I don't like the band, I'm going to say, I don't think Joy Division's going to get in there this time.
God,
I don't know.
So good.
I mean, I know, but I just don't see it, man. Maybe they will. That's just saying, like, and then I Shakira? I don't know. I thought that's confusing to me, that one. I think Pink has the rock and roll attitude. She's rock and roll to me, man. I mean, even though she's a pop star, I mean, she's got some attitude, bro. Listen to her lyrics and shit, like, she's a fucking badass. Plus, she gets up there and flips around. And have you ever seen her perform?
Yeah, she's great.
It's fucking incredible, dude. So I'm going to say Shakira
and Joy
Division, final answer.
Okay.
How about you?
So you're looking at this, I think, too literally. I mean, again, look at the politics of it and how the final finished polished product will look. You have to play the game. You have to have white, black, guy, girl, band, artist, right? So how is that going to be set up? And is there a story behind it?
For TV, basically, is what you're saying almost, or for political reasons.
Well, yeah, for political reasons, but for on TV, and on paper. How is that lineup going to look? Like, if you're putting together a team, you're like, well, this guy's a good shooter. This guy's a good blocker. This guy's a good runner. So you need somebody to fit all those pieces.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right. So
it's like watching American Idol, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of funny that a white guy, a black, and an Asian, and how did they get down to these last 12? It's like, come on, man. It's because it's television. They need somebody for everybody. Of course, I get it. Totally get it.
And then you have to look at what they're doing now in preparation. And this is where the rub comes in, where they're going to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame wants as much attention on the artist and publicity and marketing prior. So what are they doing right now? Take Pink, for example. Well, she's filling in for Kelly Clarkson for her daytime talk show. There's rumors that she could actually be taking over for her because Kelly Clarkson's leaving. Yeah. That is a bonus for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Iron Maiden, I believe, is going back out on the road. That's kind of a big deal.
Yep.
INXS could be like kind of the lost band, and where they say, hey, we're going to put this person in your place. I could see them doing something like that. Wu-Tang Clan, I believe, just lost a member, so you look at that. Phil Collins isn't bad. Phil Collins,
he's on his way.
He's definitely getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's no doubt. I would think that they would have done this last year with Oasis, whether, I don't know, time permit it, but since Oasis had that big, thing, so if I were to say two of these that are not going to get in, Shakira.
Okay. So we agree on one.
I would say, I want to say Shakira and Lauryn Hill, but they can't do that. So Jeff Buckley, no. Shakira, no.
Lauryn Hill looking crazy lately. Did you see her at the I was like, what the fuck is she wearing? It didn't even look like the same person. And she used to be I thought she was kind of attractive back in the day. I don't know.
And by the way, for those that are thinking what you think I'm thinking, I'm not. I know that it was a horrible rumor that was started about Lauryn Hill, actually from the Howard Stern show, that for the most part ruined her career. I don't know if you know that whole story or not, but it's like one of the biggest career ruining false stories that was ever been told, that she was a racist and said certain things when she didn't say those things. I know that's false. I'm just not a fan of her as an artist. That's all. That's my personal preference.
I thought it was because she didn't pay her taxes.
I don't know anything about that. I know that there was a rumor going around about how she said, I don't want white people to buy my album or something like that.
I do remember that. That was all a vicious rumor then, huh?
It was
wow.
Supposedly it was a rumor, but it ruined her career, or helped aggressively ruin her career.
That's a shame, man. She's got a great voice. She's a fucking great artist, man. Maybe, but her performing at the Grammys though, so D'Angelo, they were honoring him as an artist. It was right after the Ozzy thing, right? So she's kind of back out there.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're saying, she's probably gonna get in.
Billy Idol's like kind of this dark horse, right? I mean, Billy Idol, again, one of those artists, in my opinion, that doesn't get the respect that he deserves. I mean, you go back to the early 80s and even in the 90s when, Cradle of Love, Billy Idol was a force, dude. He
hasn't stopped. He's still kicking ass out there. Have you seen him play? He's still great. Stevens, that's great.
He was the poster child of rock and roll. He dressed the part, he looked the part, he acted the part. And dude, his lifestyle, I can tell you stories that Ron Jeremy told me about him back in the day. When
Hedgehog.
Dude, swapping wives and all. I mean, dude, talk about rock and roll lifestyle. Billy Idol is a rock star.
He's the guy. He was in the Doors movie. Remember? He was in the Doors.
Don't remember that.
The Oliver Stone one.
Well, even better, he was on The Flight with Adam Sandler. And, helped him get the guitar and sing.
Oh.
Do you not know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
The Adam Sandler movie.
Which one?
I didn't sing it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Come on, man. That's the Billy Idol scene. He's like, we're going to go get him, man.
yeah, okay. I was thinking of I'm like, he was on Little Nicky?
No.
That's the worst Adams. That was fucking terrible.
Okay.
He made some stinkers. Love him, though.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this up. You got anything to share? Saliva stuff or you stuff or anything stuff?
Man, I like I think I said last time, I was in school to become to up my real estate license to broker license, and I'm done with the class. I passed the final. I'm taking the state test in a couple days, so hopefully I'll have my license by the time this comes out. Man, it's a lot. It's my brain at this age trying to take in that much information. It's been a little tougher than I thought it would be, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully
I can do okay. The last couple of weeks you've been a little foggy, kid. I can see it.
I don't have anything left, dude. You're just bombarded with all the information and then trying to keep it in the front of my head too, to where I don't lose it thankfully, when I passed, I was able to go ahead and schedule the test not too long after the class ended, because
that was good.
Fuck, man, it just starts going away. The information, you have to go keep putting it back in there, man.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
all right. Well, look,
just doing the thing. I'm grateful for everybody listening. Thank you. Shows in Texas the next couple months with Saliva. So in March, or actually this month, and then in April.
Yeah.
I don't really have any big announcements on that front right now,
but we'll be the first to know when you do, won't we?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. Look, we appreciate you listening, and make sure you go to jasonbailey.com, get all the episodes on the BPX. So if you're looking for content throughout the week, just something to fill your ear holes, right? You can get it all there on the website. Get the merch. Make sure you're following us on social media, and, rinse and repeat, regurgitate, some of the stuff that we post, Tell a friend, tell a buddy that, hey, look, listen to this podcast. It's pretty cool. So you can get all that information, jasonbailey.com. Look, have yourself a great, safe rest of your day. If you're going to be doing some drinking, I understand. I get it. If you've had too much, please don't get behind the wheel of a car. Way too many friends like that. I do not want to see that happen to you. Ensure the shit don't be posted on social media, or you will lose a lot of friends like that. We'll talk to you soon.
I think we should do a podcast about rock and roll. I got some stories.
That's it for this episode. Check out jasonbailey.com for more shows. Until next time.
Bear.
3 different shows, 5 days a week, 1 feed, details, and to subscribe, jasonbailey.com.